Hello everybody, this is I Like Crunchy Tortillas and welcome to this, I guess, week's video. I haven't been as consistent recently and there's a lot of reasons. One, got my backbone biopsy, but that's not the case right now. But two, we just went through a hurricane and it was pretty intense. Granted, I was not as affected as plenty of other people who were affected by this hurricane, but I did realize that I was not prepared well enough. And then you pair that with the fact that literally the night before my spouse had to go into emergency surgery and was recovering during that hurricane, which was something that was pretty terrifying. So I've decided to come up with a plan, essentially. I have a whole list of stuff on my phone. Granted, I'm using that to film right now, so there might be cuts in between. I'm probably going to write down a lot of the things that I need to, but I realized that I wasn't prepared well enough, both, material-wise and mentally, because, this was, the first time that I essentially had to take the helm, right, of this freaking ship that I'm steering, right? Again, we weren't as affected, but it was still very, at least traumatic for me. Essentially what ended up happening was our power went out. And if you guys know me well enough, which you don't really truly know anybody on the internet, but I've discussed it before, I don't do well in the heat. I have fibromyalgia. My fibromyalgia is... Sorry, my cats are running around. Thank goodness. But I have fibromyalgia, and what do you call it? I don't do heat really well. And we were without power for a long time, like a concerning amount of long time for me, because I can't perspirate. I start to swell. I turn red. And it's worse when I'm in the sun. Granted, I wasn't really in the sun at all because it's a hurricane, it's overcast, it's rainy, all that jazz. But I wasn't in the sun at all. So luckily, I didn't have to deal with any of the I don't know if you would call them blisters or pimples or reaction or anything. So I was pretty good in that regard of not being in direct sunlight. But it was still a lot. It was really difficult. Especially at night, it was always really quiet. And then you're just hot, and you have cats that are lethargic because of the now instead of the AC, because I posted a mukbang. Sorry, I just breathed into the mic. I posted a mukbang about that incident, so I'll put that in the cards somewhere. But essentially, that was when we were without AC just in general. We still had power. We could plug things in, like fans and stuff like that, to sustain ourselves. But we didn't have that this time. Instead, we had nothing. We had a little neck fan that I had, but that was just essentially it. But anyway, I won't go into a whole bunch of it, but it was terrifying for me and my spouse and our cats and everything. But luckily, none of us were injured. None of us were too terribly displaced or anything. It was more so my medical issues. We lost essentially all the food in our fridge. We had some water damage, and that's regular stuff with even a storm power outage, right? Again, I'm not the worst who is affected by this, and if I can find any links to help any of the families that were displaced during this event, I will also probably put that in the description to hopefully figure out a way to do my part, girls. Well, essentially, sorry, I had to move a little bit further away to make sure you can't hear my girls just rummaging in their little crinkle tunnel. But essentially, I found out that there's a possibility of 2 more systems coming our way, and I want to be prepared. So this is essentially going to be a video of the stuff that I have and stuff that I want to get in order to prepare properly. Luckily, we had enough fresh drinking water. There was actually nothing wrong with our water. Again, I can't say that for anybody else, and if I can find any links in the anywhere for any GoFundMe's or just something to help, I will put that in the description if I can find it, because it is still pretty fresh at this moment. Voiceover Tortilla here. Welcome to the time lapse. Essentially, all I am doing is putting things in priority order. So first I did batteries and water, kind of similar, then ways of cooking, and then as well as medical supplies. And yeah, that's essentially all I really did, writing it down so I can essentially have a list of everything. Now back to the video. Hello everybody, we are currently in my washroom, or laundry room. Essentially what we're doing in here is we're kind of like taking inventory of like stuff that we already have. So like fire starters, batteries that we already have. There's other stuff around the house that I'm going to have to collect to make sure. So yeah, we're going to just see what we have in here. So I'm going to just start with batteries. We also have like a random assortment of batteries in our like random kitchen. Everybody has a random kitchen drawer. Like, we can't lie about that. Everybody has a random kitchen drawer. So that's where that's at. I really want to get a battery daddy. I think that's what it's called. Essentially, it's like a huge box where you can sort all the batteries. That would that would honestly be a really big dream of mine. Anyway, so now we're just going to kind of go through the batteries, see how charged they are. If they aren't charged, then I'm going to charge them. Obviously, I'm probably going to recheck this when it's closer, because again, like, there's 2 systems that I just learned about that might be heading our way. This doesn't sound bad. If it does, I apologize. We got a flashlight, from a Ryobi flashlight. Obviously, none of this is sponsored. This is just what we have on hand. So, yeah. I make my own fire starters. So this isn't a hack that I came up with myself. I actually saw this on TikTok before I deleted it. I wasn't a part of like the big TikTok delete phase thing. It, like, you know, when that issue was going on, I'm not gonna even talk about it. But it was just like a thing I saw, and you know, I deleted it anyway. But this was the thing I saw. I forget who the girl was, but she essentially said, keeping your paper towel, like your the cardboard, the paper towel, as well as the toilet paper, and then if you have a dryer, you know, collecting the lint from that and stuffing that in, and that can just be your self-home fire starter. So I'm going to see what I have from that. So I swear I have more. Got 3. Got 3. Let me see. I think I can put these in right now. No. Okay. I'll just put them. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I haven't done here. Or this thing. No. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Probably make more. Cool. Okay, so we have 3 homemade like little fire starters. But essentially, like, looks like this. You stuff your lint and your like dryer sheets that are like in the dryer that you use for your dryer, if you use that. And then you're like, this is obviously a cut piece of the paper towel roll that was already used. And then you kind of just stuff it in there. And then, if the power goes out, if you need a way to like boil something, you can essentially just, you'll have something that can help you like boil or cook food or cook water or something like that, essentially. So anyway, so now we got 3 of those, and then to be determined because we still need to do laundry. Now let's see what else we have around the house. I'm going to try and see if I can find any of our other battery packs that are like for electronics and stuff, which I know we have one, but it's still good to check to see if we have it and see what else we could possibly. I found the battery pack. We have it right here. We use this a lot to go to sleep because we have limited like outlets in our bedroom. So we've found that. But another thing is, and this is something that like I completely forgot about, but then remembered. So for some electronics like phones and iPads and stuff like that, like my iPad was one of the most saving graces for this recent hurricane because me and my spouse were essentially out. We were out of power. Our phones were essentially dead. We didn't want to use up all the fuel in the car, not to mention getting in and out was kind of just difficult anyway. So my iPad literally came in the most clutch for me, came in the most clutch because there are like settings on your electronics where you can essentially just have it to, charge, right? So we were able to, between the 2 of us, get our phones from essentially 0% because it died to to 50% each. So 100% if it were one phone, right? And still have maybe some left, right? We were very lucky about that with me remembering that. So if you have any electronics that are not necessity that have full charge, see if you have the setting to charge it. Essentially, like, do you like to essentially see if you have like the setting of like only charge the device that's connected? Because that was something that I didn't think about until honestly way later, but it saved us in regards to communication and like checking the weather and checking outage maps and stuff like that. So that was just really good. Hello, everybody. It's been like a day or so. I forgot that I had to take my girls to a cat appointment or a doctor's appointment. I had to take my cats to a doctor's appointment, a veterinary appointment. Besides the point. Another thing about that, though, it is important to have all of your own medical documents, but also so you have your own medical documents, but also your pet's medical documents, because God forbid they get lost or something happens to them or there's a need for evacuation or something, you'll at least have all the paperwork that you need to make sure that they are either cleared or could be cleared and that you guys aren't separated. Or if they get lost, like the chip number or, stuff like that. So I actually, when we went to this recent appointment, I asked to get just a whole medical history of their, their like doctor's notes and stuff like that. So that's essentially what I did. But now we're kind of in the segment of what I have in kind of my go bag / first aid bag. I don't know what type of backpack this is. This was just a backpack that a family member gave me. So this is a backpack that a family member gave me before I moved. So we're just going to go through that, I guess, and just see what I have and then see what I need. And I left my notebook downstairs. I'm tired. I don't want to go back down there right now. So I'm just going to go through it and we'll see what we have. And we're going to start, I think we're going to go very front to back. So we're going to see what's in here. Let's see. I did have this packed for the last crazy event. So some of the stuff might already be unpacked and not like in here like it is right now. So the first pocket didn't have anything. Second pocket, nothing as well. I think primarily what this has is like like MREs and like medical like stuff. But we'll see. We're seeing. We're discovering this together. Is that back? Oh, excuse me, please. Thank you. Gauze. So, I put, obviously I put this in here in case there is like a wound or something that happens. But this specifically was from, what do you call it, when I had my surgery. So I have some like leftover stuff, and stuff like that doesn't, as far as I know, expire. Again, this isn't medical advice. This isn't anything that, you follow your own, you follow your own star, your own tune, right? This is just something that like I am also just doing for the comfort of myself. So this isn't any way like survival and or medical advice. This is just me keeping myself in check and staying consistent. So so right now we have some soothing saline nose spray. I don't know if this has been opened. I don't think it has been. Nasal spray is, I think, very important. It keeps your nasal cavities moist, and it avoids what do you call it? It keeps your nasal cavities moist, and it prevents you from getting like sinus infections and stuff like that, I believe. So keeping that. Then we have a whole bunch of ointments that I've also been looking for because I forgot to take it out. Decongestant spray is also really good. I'm going to keep that. We have some first aid antibiotic ointment. Got this from my surgery as well. So I'm gonna have the triple antibiotic pain relief ointment. Again, none of this is sponsored. This is just stuff that I have. So that's all that was in the little small pocket, which was essentially just ointments and nasal sprays. If I had to choose, I would also probably put some like Claritin. Well, what is it that like for like pollen and stuff like that? Like essentially, like I think it's Claritin. I don't know. But like any like help with like environmental stuff, like pain relief, stuff like that. But obviously only take what you need when in regards to life-threatening issues. So again, this is not medical advice. This is not survival advice. This is just what me as a paranoid person packs. So yeah. Okay, this is kind of where all the majority of the stuff is. So we got more gauze. We have more gauze. We have more gauze. Lots of gauze. We have, NyQuil, cold flu stuff. So it helps with headache, fever, sore throat, minor aches and pains, sneezing, runny nose, and cough. Obviously, if you end up getting displaced or power goes out or something and you start like developing stuff, having stuff like this on hand is probably going to be good as well. If you're able to take it. There are some people who can't because of like the amount of acetaminophen or, they're just allergic. Again, not medical advice, not survival advice. This is just what I have. So there's that. And oh my gosh, here's the fun part. MREs. Got a lot of those. Because they are obviously, as it says, meal ready to eat, right? We got stuff like that. I don't know if we actually have the starter or if it comes in that. As of right now, all I'm really feeling is goop. I'm not a master or anything of MREs of any sort. It's just more so a thing of like, it's just like it felt like the easiest thing to get. Granted, I know they're probably like 1 billion years old or whatever, but that's besides the point. We got plenty of those. Ooh, got some stuff down here. Oh goodness, what is that? A coin. Lucky coin, I guess. I was like, something happens. Let me see. Ooh, this stuff. I love this stuff. I don't think it's been... Ooh, it's been unopened. Okay. So this is... what do you call it? Vashi skin solution. This is essentially, as it was described to me, a skin-friendly, like, wound solution bleach, almost. So essentially, it's like... like not an antibacterial. It cleans it essentially. You know, you don't want to use it all the time because like you clean something not clean something too much, but like anyway, not giving advice, but like this, I really like this. But yeah, so that works. Let's see what else is in here. Do I have another nasal spray? I have another nasal spray. Okay, yeah, we got some more like nasal spray saline, which is great. Again, I was very concerned about this. Then we have some gauze tape, which can be good. Granted, I found out that I'm actually essentially allergic to all forms of adhesive, but I would rather, worry about a small minor skin reaction versus like, oh, leaving a wound open and in the air or something. So there's that one. What about the back pocket? Okay. All right. So that's essentially all that's in there. Just a lot of, like, again, MREs and ointments and stuff and gauze. So definitely stuff that I would like to kind of note down or take or like, add to the list of things would probably be like a travel size, like ibuprofen or something. Any prescriptions that you may have in an event like that, like, either a hurricane or like some form of natural disaster or like, something were to happen, it is good to have at least a list of things that you need to, like, just GTFO, right? So like making sure you have all of your prescriptions. If you have prescription glasses or an old pair of prescription glasses and a new pair, take the old pair as well in case something happens to the new pair. Because like, I don't get rid of my older glasses most of the time until I'm like 3 pairs in, then I'm like, okay, the older third pair can go because obviously that's an older prescription. But like, make sure you have all your prescriptions with you, important paperwork like birth certificates, social security numbers and stuff like that. Like any, like, your wallet, obviously, like stuff like that's very important. Again, paperwork on your animals, very important. Trying to think of anything else. I'm not really sure. Because I don't typically go through stuff like this, even though like, natural disasters happen everywhere. But, then I think we're going to probably get into clothes. I think that's very important to make sure you guys have the stuff that you need, any form of like necessary toiletries, which I would probably include pads, tampons, like maybe a travel size like toothpaste. It is good to keep your mouth clean, but if not, just like mouthwash or something, obviously, again, if you end up getting displaced somehow and you have to get out very fast, you just have to make sure you can just take what's most important. Again, not survival advice. You guys move to your own tune, like dance to your own tune. But that's just kind of what I would recommend. So now I'm going to get into the clothes aspect, which I'm going to be kind of embarrassed about, but let's go. And we're back once again. Okay, so I couldn't find everything that I was looking for. Again, this is why I'm making this video, because I realized that I was unprepared. So getting into the kind of like clothes, I think it's important to at least have maybe 3 days worth of clothes. Granted, depending on the number of people you have and how much either person could carry is very dependent. So like, I think finding like a container like this and just filling it with like, just like an, like, outfit, clothes, whatever. Like this is like a bedding thing. But I would probably go with something smaller if I could, so it could actually fit in my like backpack or duffel bag if I decided to carry one, or if I decided to just be crazy and just put like straps over it, like a camping bag, which I do not have, which is probably a bad idea because that means it wouldn't be balanced properly. Again, this is not survival advice. I am not a master survivalist or anything. And also, again, there's no any medical advice in this video because I am not a medical professional. So don't do anything Okay? This is just for me. But essentially, when it comes to clothes, I think it's very important to have things that are durable, which which you could probably see me getting really red now, which is why I think it's a really good thing that I used to be a Call of Duty cosplayer. So I will just insert like either a cringy TikTok that I used to make or a cringy like picture or video or whatever, like just over here somewhere. But yeah, I used to do TikTok videos online for Call of Duty. That, yes, I am a fake fan. I've never played it because I'm not that good at first person shooters, really. But I did watch, my spouse play it. And then I also watched, like, what do you call it? Other people play it because I thought it was an interesting campaign. And it was the new Modern Warfare. I haven't watched the old one. Besides the point. I have kind of waterproof, kind of like, storage. They have like, pockets and stuff. It's comfortable and breathable, yada, yada, yada. But again, not everybody the Call of Duty cosplayer or in the military or whatever. So like, using like a nice jacket that's warm, but can also protect you from the wind and the cold's very important. I used to go hunting with family members a lot. Oh, just threw my thing around. Okay. I used to go hunting with my family members a lot, so I have like sets of thermals. So like this is like essentially like you have your underwear, then you have this over it. So you have like pants, like thermals that kind of like help keep you warm, and then I have like the shirt as well. So essentially it would probably be in the layer of, that plus whatever like shirt you have on, jacket, jeans. Like I have actually khaki cargo pants. Can't find them right now because again, I used to do cosplay because I was bored, which that might actually be some more content later when all of this is over. But if you don't have stuff like that, you don't need stuff like that. Simply just durable fabric, like, jeans, right? Good jacket, like stuff to keep you warm, but can also probably be easily removable in case like you live in a hotter climate or something. But like, what do you call it? Like, again, I don't know anything. This is just stuff that I paranoidly gather together. Another thing that I have is my steel-toed boots that I found it at an antique store. I found these military boots at an antique store, so I was very lucky to find those. And they fit pretty decently, so I'm very happy with that. So just stuff like that to make sure you have full-toed covered like shoes to make sure like because if you're walking outside, debris flying everywhere, depending, like you don't want to step on something if something were to land on your foot, like you don't want something bad to happen. Socks, very important. If you like circulatory socks, I find for myself, again, this is advice for myself, I find very good at like keeping my joints less achy because I have a chronic pain condition. So it's important that I, have like mobility and stuff like that. Speaking of which, another thing that I would add to my first aid kit, if you have it, is like maybe just small wrist braces. I have an ankle brace from when I twisted I am very accident prone, okay? Very surgery and accident prone. That's just me, I guess. But I have like ankle braces. I have like ace bandages, like, all this other stuff that I would put into the med kit or whatever. But anyway, jacket, jeans, stuff to protect you from the weather. Very important. So that's just kind of all that. I would recommend, depending on the person and depending on how big your group is or whatever, a pack like a 3 days worth of clothes. Having clean clothes is very important, especially if there's like any form of injury or just like if your skin's very sensitive. For example, mine is if I like miss like a day of showering or maybe a day or two, depending, my skin starts to break out. Again, that might just be a me thing, but it's important to not just stay in the same clothes all the time and to like swap out as often as you can so you don't get any like skin rashes or irritation or anything. So there's that. And then later today, me and my spouse are going to go to Home Depot to pick up more batteries and some fans. I think I said in the beginning of the video. If I didn't, I apologize to myself. Um, that essentially we're going to be going to Home Depot to get more like batteries. We're going to get more fans because I can't tolerate heat. We're gonna get a grill cover because, you know, if you have a grill, you can start a fire in that and it's a safe space. Obviously, don't bring the grill inside and then wait for the weather to clear up a little bit before you try to cook anything. But yeah, so I think that's gonna be it for right now until we go to Home Depot. So I'll see you in a bit. Hello, everybody. Welcome back for like the billionth time. Just busy. Trying to make sure we, you know, keep on top of things. But so I told you last time that we were going to go to Home Depot. I'm still not comfortable filming in public yet, so I didn't bring my phone. I mean, I brought my phone, but I didn't bring my camera or, you know, the whole like this setup essentially, right? Honestly, it was just very exhausting being outside in general. It was a very bright day today, and yeah. Anyway, so we had to go to our local Walmart instead because we were originally going to get a lot of like Ryobi like batteries and stuff, but they are very expensive and it's not a guarantee that some of the stuff is going to work as well as we'd hope. So instead, we decided that we're going to just grab a couple of smaller things. Granted, the price tag, not small. But okay, first things first, we have a battery pack. You might hear my cat in a second. But we got this battery pack. It's charged by it charges via USB and it's really cool because it like stretches. Super cool. Very fancy. We didn't expect it, but this was the closest thing we could really find. Currently charged at 100%. I don't know how much it will charge and how much battery life will be left in it, but we have this just in case. Next, we got like a flashlight, right? Just a nice regular little flashlight. And it has different modes on it. Hopefully I didn't just damage my camera lens. Anyway, but we got that. It's also very hefty because if you know, people like to not be nice during storms and stuff. So, you know, if anything happens. Anyway, and then lastly, because one of the main reasons why we went out was because of like heat and stuff like that. Granted, we didn't get what we wanted, but we got this cute little pink hand fan. This was like literally the only thing I could really find. Maybe I wasn't looking well enough, but my I was about to pass out on my feet essentially. But it's a cute little hand fan, and it has like a little like thingy, you know, so I can walk around with it like attached to my purse or something. It has multiple settings, and you can see like the thingy. Essentially, like there's like a screen in there. Like you would think like I can't even looking close at it. I can't even see the screen. But I don't know. I just want pink. I want a little happy in my misery, you know? So I got this. It has multiple different settings. And it's pretty powerful for how small it is. And hopefully it'll, you know, work some improvement. And, you know, luckily it's flat on the bottom, so I can just set it down flat and face it towards one of the girls if they're too hot and laying down on the floor or something. Granted, not the haul that we wanted, but it's still very useful stuff because we got thing that actually uses batteries versus like, you know, charge. And this one's actually a really cool one. So you actually have the what do you call it? The option to charge it. It's like one of those like USB charge, but it also just uses regular batteries. So it's just like I honestly think that's a really cool like what do you call it? what is it when you go halfway? Like compromise. I think it's a really good compromise between that because everything's going towards just charging and USB and all that other stuff for convenience when it's not really convenient in my opinion. But anyway, that is essentially the end of the video. Reminder, this is not any survival advice. This is not any medical advice. I am not a survival professional and I am not a medical professional. So this is just stuff that I do for myself to help keep track of things for myself. Again, if I can, I will try and find organizations, nonprofits, other things maybe in the description where you can find more info on the hurricane we went through and the people who were affected. I hope you guys have a good day and stay crunchy. Goodbye. That wasn't right, but it was supposed to be anyway.